is the Spit Sports Show. Wow, that was a performance by the Florida Panthers last night. Obviously, the final four of the NHL playoffs have been set. Florida and Carolina played their game one yesterday, and really from the first 6 minutes, you could see that Florida just has a little bit more firepower than Carolina does, which really sucks because I thought that Carolina was going to come out this game with their hair on fire, especially after Rod Brindamore made all of those comments about how, we didn't actually get swept when they literally did. I watched the games, it wasn't like we got swept there. It was a close series. You got swept. But I thought his team was going to come out and kind of try to prove their coach right by winning a game right off the bat, making it so his sweep comments felt more legitimate. Florida was only coming off of 2 days of rest. Obviously, they went to 7 against the Leafs, and Florida just laid them out. And the Hurricanes are a really good team, but Florida looks like one of the most complete teams I've ever seen in my life. Carolina, it seems like it's the same story every single year for them. They come into the playoffs, they play solid up until about now, the Eastern Conference Finals are round 2, and they just run into a team that has more firepower than they do because they don't have the top end talent of these other teams. That Rantanen trade just sunk them, in my opinion. If he was able to, or if they were able to convince him to re-sign there, I think we'd be having a very different conversation right now. But we're not, and Florida looks dominant. Seth Jones looks like maybe the best defenseman in the NHL right now somehow. I mean, you get a guy out of Chicago and all of a sudden he just turns into a superstar. Just check out Dylan Strome in Washington. I'm sorry. Apparently Chicago is just where players go to die right now. Brad Marchand has been everything they wanted him to be since acquiring him. Eetu Luostarinen is a freaking point per game, leading the team in scoring on that third line, which has just been unbelievable for them. Florida's depth is ridiculous. I think Sam Bennett might be the most underrated player in the entire league. He's leading that Florida team in goals right now. I just think this team looks like a world beater right now, and I would be shocked if they didn't beat Carolina in that round. And on the other end, is my most anticipated series in a while, because this Dallas team, I know I just said it about Florida, but they might be the other most complete team I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, looking at their forward core, it really looks like you went into NHL GM mode in the video game, and in franchise mode where you can just trade for guys for 1 year, just unload all your draft picks and just create basically a perfect team. I don't know if you guys did that before, but I definitely did. That's what this Dallas Stars team looks like. Obviously, Ottinger is playing lights out right now. They beat Colorado in the first round without not their best forward, but maybe their second best forward, and definitely their best defenseman. Mikko Rantanen is on one of the great playoff tears we have ever seen right now. Their depth is just full of veterans. I mean, who would have thought that Jamie Benn would have been the perfect fourth line guy like 5 years ago? But he's turned into that. He's a phenomenal checker. He's so smart. Tyler Seguin, he's evolved his game in the same way. I think all of their first line right now, especially Granlund, has been playing with a lot more confidence with Rantanen beside him. I think Duchesne has started to play better. Jason Robertson, Wyatt Johnson have been perfect line mates for him when they're together, just because they're so fast. And at this point, Duchesne isn't necessarily that burner he once was, so they're able to kind of keep that speed up in the second line. They're a perfectly built team, to be totally honest with you. I don't see any holes, which means we have two perfectly built teams on each end of the spectrum, each end of the conferences, I guess I should say. Probably, anyways, two different conferences. We have two differently perfectly built teams. That wasn't well said, but you get what I mean. And then there's the Edmonton Oilers, who on paper look like about the ninth best team in the league to me. And if you look at this roster, it looks like a roster that should have about a second round ceiling. Like, I believed in the Oilers big time last year. I actually predicted the cup final perfectly. I predicted Oilers versus Panthers last year. I thought that coming into that playoff run that their depth looked better than ever. Skinner wasn't playing his best, but he was getting a little hot coming into those playoffs. This year, I did not see this coming. I thought Ekholm being out was just a killer for them, considering how good he was this regular season and how well his game translates into the playoffs with his style. I thought Evander Kane not playing all year would have been a little Achilles heel for this team, considering how important he is for playoff runs, just being a bit of a, I can't say that, an ish disturber and, a guy who just doesn't care about his body in front of the net, takes cross checks, fights in corners, will get in opponents' heads. It just really looked like it wasn't going to be their year. But one thing the Oilers have done these past 3-4 years is defy all logic and logistical analysis by basically having two of the most ridiculous players I've ever seen in my entire life. But that's what's been so unreal about this Oilers team this season is they haven't really been winning because of those top two guys. Obviously, those are the sun and the moon for them, Draisaitl and McDavid, I'm obviously talking about. And they've been great. But they've been winning with depth scoring, which is something that I never thought I would say about the Oilers. Like their power play, which has been their bread and butter for the entire run where they've actually been a solid playoff team, it hasn't been clicking the same way this year that it has in years past. Like, it's still really good at 25%. Like, you're not going to complain about it. But that is sixth best in the playoffs. And the thing that's so impressive about it is it hasn't hamstrung them one bit because, like I said, their depth has been coming to play. Last season, it was the total opposite. McDavid put on maybe the greatest playoff run we've ever seen in our lives. He had 42 points. Draisaitl was behind him at 31. Bush had 32, actually, just ahead of Draisaitl. Hyman and Nugent Hopkins had 22 apiece. And then from there, after those, 5 guys, it was a drop down to 10 points with Matthias Ekholm, who, like I said, was been out for the start of this. And then it was 9 points, 8 points, whatever. There was a precipitous drop off between those top 5 guys and the next highest. This year, no, it's been just completely down the road, perfect between how you want your depth scoring to support these top forwards. Like McDavid's got 17 points. They've played 11 games. Draisaitl's got 16. Bouchard's at 12. But then you've got Nugent Hopkins and Hyman at 9 and 8. And then you got 3 more guys at 7 points with Evander Kane, Corey Perry, who's just ageless. Connor Brown has had a phenomenal playoff run so far. Vasily Podkolzin has been resurrected from the Vancouver dead. And all of these guys, it just goes 9, 7, 6, 5 with a bunch of guys with those point totals. The depth has been fantastic. And that is the main reason, if not the only reason, they were able to take care of Vegas as quickly as they did when on paper, again, Vegas is the better team. I think. Clearly, they're not the better team, but if you look at their roster, Vegas had a better goaltender. Their defense was clearly better. They might have had the best defense in the entire league. They had the top end talent with Eichel and Stone. I was going to say Stone, even though Stone didn't play all that well. They looked like the better team, but they're pretty close. I mean, obviously, the Oilers aren't that much worse on paper, and obviously, they're better than the Kings. But that kind of brings me to my last point is depth scoring and the Oilers depth scoring specifically, that'll work against teams who you are close to or better than. It will not work against the Stars and the Panthers. They're too good. I'm so serious when I say the Stars and the Panthers in being, how do I put this? The Stars and Panthers roster construction this season are the 2 best rosters that I have seen together in one NHL season in my entire life. The only thing I can compare it to is probably 2013 with the Blackhawks and the Bruins. Both of those teams were phenomenally constructed as well. They had pretty much no holes. I think these two teams are better than those teams. I really do. I don't see an issue. I don't see a flaw. They both have top 5 goaltenders. They both have top end talent. Mikko Rantanen, like I said, is playing the best hockey of his life. Florida's third line has been comparable to pretty much every other team's first line. Tkachuk still hasn't played his best hockey yet. Sam Bennett, like I said, one of the most underrated players in the league. Sam Reinhart doing his thing. Their defense with Aaron Ekblad finally stepping up and getting Seth Jones at the trade deadline, who might be better than Aaron Ekblad. Like, I haven't seen two rosters this good in the playoffs together in my entire life watching hockey. So, what are the Oilers going to have to do? Connor McDavid is going to have to climb up the tallest hill maybe a player has ever had to climb up in NHL history. He is going to have to average 2 points a game for the Oilers to win this Stanley Cup. Because this might be the hardest Stanley Cup to win I can remember for any of these teams. Because again, when you look at what these rosters are and how they're able to fill out, like the Stars' fourth line could be the second line for, I'm going to guess, 25 out of the 32 teams. Like Jamie Benn, Back, Dadonov, that is a fantastic line. Like, oh my gosh. And Florida's, like, I just can't get over how impressively built these two teams are. And some of it has to do with the fact there's no state tax, whatever. Credit to these guys, Bill Polian, and I can't remember the Stars GM's name right now, and I apologize for that because he deserves credit too. McDavid's going to need to eclipse what he did last playoff run. He's going to need to be even better for this Oilers team to win because this is the hardest cup to win maybe ever. Please let me know what you guys thought of the video in the comments below. Did you enjoy it? Do you think that McDavid is going to be able to take his game to that next level? What do you guys see this Stars-Oilers series becoming? Who wins? How many games? Let me know in the comments below. I'm small enough as to where I can respond to all comments and love doing so, so please drop something. Please leave a like on the video if you enjoyed what you heard. Please subscribe if you really enjoyed it. The Spit Sports Show just hit over 400 subscribers. Big things happening on the channel. And as always, I'll see you all in the next. Peace out.